Hey, this is Crystal Lachelle Lax, and I decided that I'm going to share my story. I used to be so shy, I wouldn't share anything about me. I was so self reserved, and, and I got tired of being shy, like afraid to talk to people. So I started reading books, self help books, a lot of self help books. And it was saying in the book that you have to learn to break the ice with people first. So I just started, when somebody comes sit by me at a bus stop, I strike up a conversation with them. Now I could talk to anybody up under the sun, especially if it's a good topic, a good subject. Oh yeah, I can go. I can go when I want to. When I want to, I could be introvert or extrovert. It all depends on my mood. But I know some people are like, oh my God, can she please go back to being shy? But anyway, I I think I mentioned in one of my books about being told, especially back in the days, that you're too old to do certain things. My high school experience was like one of those devastating high school experience. I just wanted to get it over, get my high school diploma, and I'm done with any form of schooling, right? So I was done with schooling. So I thought. And so, I'm 35 years old. I'm living in Carmichael, California, at the Carmichael Garden Apartments. Kids finally in school. Yes, yes, yes. And I'm at home and nothing to do. So I was like, man, I really do want to go back to school because um, in school, Indiana School District and the Indiana University doctors, they told me, or they told my mother, and my mother told me that I was severely mental retarded, like they told Les Brown, incapable of learning. But I got my high school diploma and I got my CNA certificate by the state. The state only give out certificates for you to be capable and competent of passing their tests, right? So, but it's something where people have told you something all your life. You tend to, it sticks with you, especially as a child when you're growing up in those critical years between 13. Oh, it begins at 13, your self image and your self identifying who you are. You know what I'm saying? And when you have been told all your life of how ugly you are, how fat you are, how dumb, stupid you are. All this kind of stick with you, right? So I'm on this mission. This is a personal mission right now, because I don't like for people to tell me what I cannot do, right? That's how I became a CNA. My mother told me that she thought that I didn't have the patience to be a CNA, and she thought that I couldn't do it. So that kind of put a little fire up in me, right? So I did it. And then the DON, Director of Nursing, came to my mother while we both was on the same floor because I worked in the same nursing home as my mom, right? And she said, Sandy Parker, oh, your daughter, she's a wonderful aide. She's a wonderful aide on the floor. You know what I'm saying? So I had to get that smirk in, that I could do whatever I want. And she would tell me that I had good times, and then I had some really, really abusive issues in that home. So you talking about mixed complex feelings? You know what I'm saying? How somebody can abuse you, but then at the end of the day, give you some good nuggets here along the way too. So it was very confusing in the home. But I got through it anyway. And so I'm burning up with they told me that I was incapable. That's all that stuck with me. So you know what? If I go take psychology, because I thought that I got burnt out with CNA work, working in the nursing home, cleaning boo boo all the time. I got tired of it, got burnt out. So And it wasn't the patient, it was also those nurses would get on your nerves. They would purposely mess up your bed and everything, iodine and all of that. So I was kind of burnt out in the medical field after 21 years, right? So I was like, I want to go back to school, but I'm 35 years old. I'm in my 30s, and people are saying you too old to go back to school, whatever, right? So you got all this negative thing going on in your head that you too old, going to school with young college kids and stuff like that, right? So I decided to go up to American River College, walked up there. No, I know. I used to ride this, I used to have this beach bike that I used to ride around and go to work. And once I found me a job, I used to ride it to work and ride it to school. So I went up to the college, and then I was kind of hesitating, again, self-doubting in myself. I was going to turn back around and say, no, I ain't going to do it, right? Then I seen someone in a wheelchair that had MS, right? And God had me look at that situation. And God had me see that if this person, you feel me, that is in this situation can go back to school, you have no excuse whatsoever. So I went and I enrolled myself into American River College in Sacramento, you know, and I attended college, and I told myself, I wanted to not limit myself, so I wanted to find out what kind of resource was available for me. It's not that I couldn't learn; I just had different ways of learning. Right? I have to learn by hearing, writing, and seeing, and speaking it sometime out loud to myself. Right? And that's how I learn. You feel me? And so, American River College, it's a good college. I don't know how it is now, but they gave me all the tools that I needed to finish my course, right? So I enrolled in psychology. I think it was back in 95, 96, somewhere up in there. And I shocked myself because I got a 4.0 grade average. I was so proud of myself after they had told me that I was severely mental retarded, incapable of learning. Now, just to give you a little background about Indiana, it's a very racist state. That's where the KKK, white supremacists, is at. So I grew up around that too. You feel me? And so the doctor's intake about me was very biased, even though I had a lot of sickness going on, even as a kid, but still, they told my mother that I wouldn't be able to have children. I have 4 children and 10 grandchildren, but they said if I had children, I would die. They told my mother that because of my small hands, I have dwarfism, and so everything else on me is normal. It's just small hands, right? And so they said, she's not going to be able to reach anything, grip cups and everything. Man, I could do anything I want to do. I ain't that.